Hey everyone, it's me, Chef Theresa from the Sylvia Center. We are a nonprofit organization that specializes in hands-on cooking and nutrition programs for young people in New York City and upstate New York. I am making a stir fry for dinner tonight, and I wanted to quickly show you a few different knife techniques that you can use to prepare your vegetables for a stir fry. So first I've got carrots. And what I'm going to do with my carrots is, chefs call this cutting on the bias. So I'm going to make long cuts. I've already washed and peeled my carrots. So these long cuts are going to be, oh, I don't know, what is this, 2 inches maybe? And thin, right? So after I've cut all of my carrots this way, what I can do is then place them down flat. And I usually do this one at a time. Place them down flat and using a bear claw here so that all of my fingers are protected and my knuckles make a barrier against getting cut. I'll hold the carrot and I'll cut into long strips like this. So this is like a matchstick cut. And this will cook pretty quickly. Carrots sometimes take longer to cook as they're a root vegetable. They're sort of dense. But cutting them this way means that once I put them in the pan and I'm moving them around in my stir fry with all the other ingredients, they'll cook pretty quickly and still maintain a little bit of crunch. So this is my method for cutting carrots for a stir fry. And I am going to also cut zucchini in a similar manner, but slightly larger. So zucchini is not as hard and dense as carrot, and so it will cook a little bit faster. So I'm going to do exactly the same technique. I'm just going to make it slightly larger. So I'll do a couple long, and carefully, because these are round ingredients, so they're going to roll around on my cutting board unless I have a nice firm grip with my left hand. I'll do a couple long cuts like this, and then I can once again cut each one of those into a zucchini matchstick. Okay, I'm going to get to work on these, finishing these up. I'm also going to have some onion in my stir fry tonight, so this is just a basic yellow onion. Any type of onion you can do this with. So what I'm going to do is keep the root on there for a minute as it's holding all of the layers of the onion together, and I'm going to trim off the stem side. I'm also going to cut it in half down the middle, right through that root, and I'm probably only going to use half of an onion for my recipe tonight. So I'm going to just peel off the layers here. Just 1 or 2 layers until it's not too dry. And now is when I'm going to cut the root off. So now I'm going to kind of follow the lines of the onion. So if you look kind of closely, there are some sort of, I don't know, texture markings right here. And I'm going to kind of just cut along those lines around. So now with my onion, here's what I end up with. So if you separate the layers, you're going to end up with sort of a perfect size for a stir fry here. So this is called a sauté slice. All right, moving on. I want to show you a really cool trick for ginger. So ginger is essential in a stir fry. It's also extremely good for you. It adds a ton of flavor. And so ginger root is sold like this. Sometimes people slice it and they'll stew it into some tea. I use it for, oh my gosh, probably half the time I cook there's ginger in my recipe. So I pulled this bag out of my freezer. So this is a Ziploc baggie. And I keep my ginger in the freezer because it makes it really, really easy to grate using a fine grater or a zester or micropin. So frozen ginger is the way to go. It never dries out on you. It's always there when you need it, and it grates up, and all of the stringy, fibrous texture in there is gone. So you could mince your ginger with a knife. I'm about to mince some garlic, so using that same exact technique, but this is faster and easier, and you get a really nice fine, almost like a ginger snow, right? So this is going to be enough ginger for my recipe tonight, but just to take a closer look, it's really, really fine. It's pretty cold. It's really fine, and there's none of that stringiness that sometimes comes along with ginger, right? So the last ingredient I've got to show you is garlic. So this is going to get a mince. First I'm going to peel it. I do that by smashing it, which sort of separates the skin from the clove. I will discard the skin, cut off this little bit of root if there's a big chunk of dried out root on the end of it. And then what I'm going to do is place my fingers on top of the tip of my knife, and I'm going to sort of do this rocking motion, like the wheel of a locomotive. And I'm going to, well, I'll get this started first with my fingers. But then, as it gets smaller, I can chop through it like this. So you'll notice that these fingers are doing the work of keeping the tip of the knife down on the board. It never actually gets lifted up. I think a lot of people, when they cut, they think they should be hearing some sort of chefing, chopping sounds like this, but that's just not the case. So you're going to be holding the tip of your knife down and letting the curve of your knife rock back and forth. Like I said, like a locomotion, right? So every now and then I'll have some garlic climbing up my knife. I'm going to swipe it down carefully with my fingers. I'm going to gather my garlic pile back together so that I don't have it spread out everywhere. It makes it much harder to get it done. So repile my garlic and just keep going until you have nice small pieces. The reason that we mince ingredients like ginger and garlic is because they're extremely flavorful. So you just want a little bit in your bites. You never want to really chomp on a huge chunk of garlic or ginger. It's not a great flavor experience. So mincing it into small pieces helps all these ingredients get evenly distributed throughout the dish that you're making. All right, so that's 5 minutes of prep in order to get my stir-fry ingredients ready to go. Now I know when I fire up my pan and I'm cooking at a high heat, everything will be here ready for me to add in when it's time, and I won't be frantically scrambling to use my knife at the last minute to get something ready to go. So this has been a good prep session. I'm ready to keep cooking, and I will be seeing you guys soon. Like and share this video if this was helpful to you, and always you can visit us at sylviacenter.org for recipes, tips, ideas, and a lot more videos like this. See you soon. Stay healthy. Keep cooking. Bye-bye.